The last two Hellraiser movies, Hellraiser Inferno and Hellraiser Hellseeker, really weren't that bad. I'm told this one is the turn. Could that be the case? Filmed in Romania in 2002, but released direct-to-video in 2005, Hellraiser Deader continues the pattern of being an unrelated script then turned into a Hellraiser film. The movie began life as a spec script called Deader, which was written by Neil Marshall Stevens during the production of 13 Ghosts, which he also wrote. The script was about a reporter investigating a cult that supposedly finds the secret of immortality. Writer Tim Day, who also co-wrote Hellseeker, wanted the next Hellraiser film to be a direct follow-up to Hellseeker, which again would have had Kirsty facing off against Pinhead. But producer Bob Weinstein figured, it'll just be easier to have Tim Day rewrite the Deader script. Oh, and movies like Ring and Pulse are also popular, so make it like that. Rick Boda, the director of Hellseeker, also returned to direct this film. There's very little trivia on the film, except, oh, so that's what Cenobite means. I don't know how I can process this next Hellraiser film without the power of Demon Cowboys or the power of Dean Winters, but I guess I'll try. I'm sure the movie will make sense. It says it's in association with logic. And it had better have a screensavery-like opening credit sequence like the last couple of films. I think they may have cut the budget on the credits too. Although I wasn't really expecting the movie to open the same exact way as the Trump prophecy. Drug abuse is affecting everyone here, even the dog. There sure is an awful lot of drugs around here. I licked up this powder off the floor. And now my tail is like a big dragon that I can chase. Kari Wuhrer plays investigative reporter Amy Klein. Can't you tell? Subtle. You're blending right in. She must now quickly submit her story. Drugs are bad, okay? Actually, her real titles are even funnier. How to be a crack whore? Is it actually teaching you how to be a crack whore? This is the third worst BuzzFeed article. Although she is very popular with her co-workers.
You want me to show you what I learned? Right here, right now.
Wait, does my role call for a sex scene? Still, these characters have nothing on the pretentious greatness of her boss, Charles.
I detect that unique and ubiquitous combination of nicotine and patchouli oil that can only signal the arrival of the delightful and world-famous.
I read your book about being a crack whore. I have lit my office like a drug house and have sold my children.
He's got a much better story for her. A snuff film sent in by a cult called the Deaders. The tape is so powerful, even the movie itself begins being shot like the tape.
Fear's the place we go to learn.
Okay, settle down, camera work. We lost the sacred knife, so here's a gun. But some of us are a little too nervous about the whole murder thing, so if you could do it yourself, that'd be great. I'm sure any reporter watching this tape would have questions.
Did you call the police on this?
Just watch.
This is where it starts to get very sexy. I have jerked off to the tape 5 times to verify its authenticity.
On the tape, Lestat is able to bring her back to life. Unfortunately, she now has to live with a giant hole in her head that will definitely get infected. Thankfully, though, it came with a return address to Bucharest. Oh, that's convenient.
It's where all the Eurotrash kids looking for a good time are heading these days. Amsterdam is so 90s.
I bought all of my brides from Bucharest. I know what's hip with the kids, and they're sipping on chamomile, watching boys and girls and their sex appeal.
Okay, so this is a simple sequence of her getting an assignment and leaving, but why is it edited so weird? Isn't it a little early for scenes to just hit the mix button? She tracks down the address, which they didn't even have to send a return. Just look for the hotel that's perfect not just for a horror film, but a direct-to-video Hellraiser film. And are her friends coming with her? Got any more of that delicious crack? My tail's a waggin'. Okay, so there could be a dead body behind the door, or they just simply haven't taken out their garbage. This place is not only filthy, but she didn't even eat her bread. She appears to have eaten everything else. It appears that there is a dead body in here, but really the body doesn't appear to be in that bad of shape. Sure, it'll haunt your dreams, but the bad smell could still just be the fridge. It's very easy to investigate a cult that just leaves pictures lying around everywhere. Oh, and she has the lament configuration in her hand. Kirsty must have sent it to her after the events of Hellseeker for no reason. This calls for a nice, stiff drink of Diet 7-Up. I'm not saying the movie is great, but I do relate to any movie that has a lead character who chain smokes just as much as me, and spends their nights with VHS tapes of artsy Miramax movies. The tape is a dire warning that says, do not open the box. She's gonna open the box.
Well, can't feel sorry for you now.
Largely because the effects in this series are still getting worse. And there's Pinhead from a wildly different location, looking more spliced into this movie than in the last two films combined. When we come back, there may be some more Hellraiser connections. Maybe, possibly. Convention season is back, so come see us at the 10th anniversary of Exotica Expo Chicago. We'll be there all weekend with our uncut and uncensored DVDs from July 16th to the 18th. Get your tickets now at exoticaexpo.com. Wow, things are getting weird around here. You know, maybe it was a bad idea opening the box that was held by a dead body that briefly came to life, while the tape she had told me not to open the box. Some things in the movie aren't that bad, though. The musical score in some scenes is kinda good. It's got a real grittiness and 8mm-like atmosphere that the previous two movies had as well. I like the idea that this Tiberius-like sex grotto is located on a moving subway train. She's looking for a man named Winter, who is the leader of the cult. Maybe this understudy for a Harmony Korine film knows where he's at. Well, I hate complaining that the subway smelled like piss because I think that was intentional. And who is this guy following her? Could this be Winter? And why is he making her flash back to the Time After Time music video? What an odd vacation she's on. That happens every day around this time. You get used to it. The police may think she's crazy, but she's got Charles on her side. Sent directly from the League of Snooty Horror Movie Charleses.
Amy, how could you bring me to this dump? Sure, I could have lectured you over the phone, but I took the next flight out to assert myself as the best character in the film.
I love Charles because anytime I make him say something crazy, he just says something even crazier on his own.
For the average person, the hunger for knowledge is like the hunger for food. We want to know just enough to take the edge off our appetite.
I'm imagining you as a big hot dog, Amy. I want to cover you in chili and stuff you with onions. I brought the buns. Now give me a story that will supply the meat.
Too bad she doesn't go with him. This guy is a novel of confusing lines.
Then walk back to your room, lie in your coffin until the daylight hours have passed, as is your habit.
God damn it, Charles, I can't tell if you're hitting on me or not. Amy is a confusing character, too. The hell? That was a whole cigarette. No wonder you go through a carton so fast. Again, she has the right idea of simply going to the nearest horror movie location to find something. The jump scare means you're getting closer. However, be very careful. You may step in shit. Ooh, the crackhead dog might be around here somewhere. Yep, there he is. I heard you stepped on my poo. That makes me awfully sad. I was saving that for lunch and dinner. The Hellraiser connections are thin at best, but there's still some creepy things in this. Lord, I'm not even afraid of bugs, and that scene made me jump a little. Are you claustrophobic? Are you afraid of bugs? Well, here's a movie that'll make Temple of Doom feel like a cakewalk to you. She's saved by a horror movie, and is being led somewhere. Could be a Hellraiser movie, could be a Saw film, could be Mortal Kombat. Take your pick. A cross between The Exorcist and Flatliners. Should have assumed that. It may be the magic powers that make people follow him, but really, it's the respect.
Damn, that was badass.
I guess she's leaving. What an embarrassing time to forget your camera. I hope it's not a coincidence that the leader of the cult looks a little like Terry from Last House on Dead End Street. Luckily, she brings him the box, because I guess even he needs to be reminded this is a Hellraiser movie. One thing added to the final draft, the box is a family heirloom and his name is Winter Le Marchand. Of the magic box Le Marchands? In the original script, I bet his name was Winter de August. Her destiny is to help Winter access the Cenobites so he can become their new master. The villain, played by Paul Reese, isn't bad, but when he does weird articulate villain speeches, he still doesn't hold a candle to Charles. Sure, he uses the power of jump cuts to make her a human sacrifice, but Charles would have done this over a bed of pudding and had a monologue about Teddy Grahams for some reason. I bet they'll succeed in their mission, the mission of making her teleport right into Candyman. One quick rewrite and she could be Helen now. I'm not sure how she's gonna get this story written with someone constantly stabbing her in the back. I'm blaming this guy, power-hungry bastard. Now for a sequence that needs to be in the movie because, hey, it summons Pinhead to actually be in the same room with her.
And you may be assured that this is not my handiwork.
I really don't know what this whole Deader cult is. The leader is sacrificing people and wants to open the box. I don't know how this is all connected. It's confusing my soul. But with Kari Wuhrer in this, only one thing can send Winter and Pinhead back to hell where they belong, and that's the portal of time. That is, when she's not trying to cover the fact that she's severely bleeding due to the huge knife wound in her chest. It's doubtful anyone would notice. This train station is normally covered in blood anyway, considering it houses the midnight man-meat train. The blood in the subway is right next to the puddle of semen. This is like the ice cream truck from Inferno, in that I can't show you much from it because there's constantly fucking going on in the background. There's more piles of naked dead bodies here than in an Ilsa film. But I can show you that Marla is still alive, yet looks dead. Is it also a zombie film? I'm picking up some heavy Return of the Living Dead 3 vibes from this. The reason Amy is chosen is because of her personal demons, that being her abusive father, because it's only through the power of trauma that the box can be open, according to Winter. I don't trust him. Where's Charles?
You said my name, therefore I'm here. You are in my care now.
That's the best fucking news I've heard in a long time.
Watch your mouth, young lady. Don't humiliate me in front of Dr. Alan Cunning.
Wow, you look a lot better.
Isn't he a delicious bit of scrambled eggs that needs a good mixing with my greasy sausage?
Anyway, no, she went through the wrong portal of time. Now she has to find Brad Pitt to learn the secret of the 12 monkeys. I see this is an all-ages mental ward. It seems safe. God, getting a little lightheaded trying to follow this. And I think the editor is stealing the patient's meds. Let's cut to a commercial so he can calm down a bit.
I'm going to a real-life secret hell world.
Hellraisers, let's play!
That's what I'm talking about.
Look, it's a movie hospital. Just look for the person ominously sitting with their back to you. That's the person you should talk to. See? It's Marla, who had a makeover. Apparently, Winter needs her trauma to open the box because he can't open it. Considering how easy people have made it look in the past, now I think the movie's villain is just dumb. And he needs to stop making people pass out. The whole second half of the film is just the lead waking up in different places. It's here that Amy says, can you give me a gun to do this? The girl on the tape had a gun. This seems way more slow and painful. This is bullshit. I'm not gonna do this.
What the hell?
I am your leader. You do not cut off my no!
They do let other Cenobites in the movie too, so that's good. Pinhead's very nice in the movie, like explaining the movie's connection to the series.
Your lineage is that of a craftsman, a maker of toys.
So, is he another incarnation of this guy? And if not, did he know the 1996 version of Paul Merchant? Doesn't really matter. If you want to rewrite a climax to a non-Hellraiser movie, just add someone getting chains and hooks shoved through their face.
Just might come true.
But don't spend too much money! Also, best kill the cult members too. None of them seemed like they had any clue as to what Winter's motivation was. They look like they're here for a knockoff of the craft that Pinhead crashes. As for Amy, she kills herself as not to give her soul to Pinhead. Or she's just trying to match the other hole in her chest, not sure. Also, I'm not sure why this happens. Seems like an overreaction. I'm sure you're not dead. Thankfully, one character survives.
Just talk to the police. Still nothing.
Yes, and what a tragic story this is. Send in the new reporter. I have 2 tickets to the best subway train in town. Grab your nipple clamps, and I'll grab the car battery and my leather chaps.
Oh, and a reporter has the box now. I'm sure that'll never be mentioned again. Though I don't know what the hell the final shot is supposed to mean. By God, Amy and Charles knew each other? Oh, I get it. They were on a boat to the Overlook Hotel this whole time in 1921. Look, we can't afford Midnight with the Stars and You for the soundtrack, so just cut to the end. Okay, so of the DTV Hellraiser movies, Inferno and Hellseeker were better than this. But not much better. Both Hellseeker and Inferno were pretty much the same let's do a Hellraiser by way of Jacob's Ladder plotting. And this one doesn't really do that, so it feels a little different in that regard. But it still has the common plot line of it being about someone investigating something and it somehow leads to Pinhead. The 3 movies do have strong performances though. Craig Sheffer, Dean Winters, and Kari Wuhrer were all excellent leads who did a good job of carrying their films. But while you can tell Hellraiser stuff was added to the scripts of the other movies, they kind of blended them in fine and made them work with the movie's larger plot lines. Here? No, not only is it wildly obvious this was a rewrite, but it's so crowbarred in, even Pinhead shows up to say, this cult has nothing to do with me. I'm also confused as to why I'm here. Hell, they even just make up new rules about the box. It's a movie about a cult that wants to control Cenobites, though none of them ever really act like they know the Cenobites are even a thing. Kirsty acted out of character in Hellseeker, but she was a big part of the story. Here, Pinhead just says, you're related to the toy makers. Just accept it, I guess. But there is a grittiness to it that I like, and it probably did start out as a fairly decent script. And it certainly wasn't afraid to get sleazy a time or two, and it did give us Charles, so I can't get too mad. Doesn't really matter if it was a hit on video or not, because the movie was made simultaneously with Hellraiser Hellworld, another film I'm hearing rave reviews about.
For fuck's sake.